Thank you very much, Chairman. I wasn't sure whom you are talking to, whom you are talking about until you called my name. I thought that was someone else, but it is okay. I won't say very much because I already spoke about Beryl just the other day in church, but I was very surprised that so many people approached me telling me that they would have liked to hear a little bit more about Beryl's earlier life. And the person who can do that is none other than myself, because we grew up together. And I think you probably know, our father Jaramogi had a special name for all of us. Oburu was called Onzugu, Raila was called Alualuya, Agola was called Wow. I was called Nyaginera or Dodi. She was called Handi or Woodwahanda. Odima was Dimesi, Osave, Sefji or Woodagot, and then Abiambo was Nyakamami. Oburu and Raila and Agola, most of them, if not all, during the early days used to call themselves Owadgakinyi, and that irritated Achieng. It was not because of any love that those people had for me, but it was because I was bullyable. Whereas she had a very strong character, and if they sent her, she would just tell them, go yourself, you go and do it yourself. And even if your mother beat her, she wouldn't cry. Until my mother got so angry and said, this child has got no respect for me, because when a parent beats you, you know you are supposed to cry. But Beryl will tell me that I have decided next time she beats me, I will not cry. And then she wouldn't. You know, she had that sense of justice or injustice. If there was any injustice against her, she would stand up against it. And you know, she's the only one who would stand up against my father. People feared my father, but she would stand up and tell him no. When Agola and I were... First of all, let me say that when we were small, we had our special language that we used to communicate in that other people would not understand, even if we were talking about them. In fact, there were two. One was called Sre language, and the other one was Gulu. So I'd say Achigulu, Achigulu, Awagulu, Nigulu. And then she'd tell me Akisre, Awasre, Niasre, Wadisre, Basre. And nobody would know what we are talking about, even if we are backbiting you. My mother used to, I think she didn't really value preschool. So, but Beryl and I loved school, and we were staying here, just behind, this is our home. So, we would plan that we are going to sneak to school. We would go and hide, take our clothes the night before from our mother's wardrobe, hide it under our bed, which we were sharing, and then in the morning we'd put on those clothes, run to school. And then after no time at all, we'd see my mother coming, and immediately we see her walking to school, we would be wailing, the school would come to a standstill because of the wailing. But we knew very well that she would find us, she would come for us, but we would still do it anyway. Eventually, my mother gave up and allowed us to continue going to school uninterrupted. I always admired the way she would stand up to our big brothers, Oburu, Raila, and Agola. But like I said, that was the reason why, because I was so mild, they were bullying me, so then they started calling themselves Akinyi's brother, and people thought because they loved me, Oburu, I knew your secrets. So there's one time my father brought us from Kisumu to Bondo during the holidays so that we could pick cotton. Those days, this area used to grow cotton. And we couldn't imagine that now we are sophisticated girls and we are being taken to Bondo to pick cotton while other girls would be talking about having gone to movies during the holidays, and us, we would be talking about picking cotton. So my father left us, went back because he was to travel to Nairobi. But Oburu had come on holiday with Dr. Ngonga Achieng. I saw him here. We didn't tell them that we are supposed to stay here. When they were going back to Kisumu, we went back with them. When my father came back and found us in Kisumu, what we went through, I will tell you about it next year. So then one time, let me talk about how Beryl and I planned to confront my father about his strictness. When now we felt we are girls, we wanted to date. And so he was not allowing us to go out with boys. In fact, if you went to town, you had to come back for lunch. Even if you went at 12, at 1 o'clock, you have to be home. Otherwise, you have to tell him, where did you eat lunch? And if you went in the evening, by 7 latest, you must be back home. So we decided we will go and confront him and ask him to start treating us like adults. And we agreed that because Achieng was braver, she's the one who would start and then I will join. When we went to my father's bedroom and he got up and was shocked to see us because that was a first. So he asked us, what is it? We said, we want to talk to you. Then he started looking at us. What is it? We got so intimidated and scared. We all kept quiet. Then in the end, he looked at Achieng and Achieng said, we want you to treat us as adults. That is completely different from what we had agreed. Because he did not believe that we would be wanting now to go out with men that his daughters are now old enough to want to date. And a lot of men do that. They date other people's daughters. But it never occurs to them that their own daughters can also want to date. I think that is very true. So my little sister Biambo was a big nuisance to us. Because when we were in Kisumu, we would lie to my mother that we are going to visit our girlfriends to study. But then we were going to a place called Hippo Point. There was something called Boogie, and there was a live band. So whenever, after we have gone, Abiambo would go to my mother and say, they are lying to you. They have gone to dance at Hippo Point. And my mother had binoculars. So she would they'd go to the balcony, direct the binoculars to the lakeside where we were. And then Adiambo would be pointing out, you see, that's Akinyi, the one booging so hard. The one Achieng liked Sukusu. There's a dance called Sukusu that time, you know. That's Achieng dancing Sukusu. Then by the time we came back home, we thought that we are looking, you know, like people who have been working so hard. We have been studying, only to run straight into trouble. Adiambo, I think you owe us an apology. Beryl, like I've said, is one of those people who could stand up to my father and say no. So my elder brother, Gola, joined Nairobi School. I went to Kenya High School for my higher. But then, Nairobi School was called Prince of Wales those days. And then my father said, no, what are people going to say about me that I have been preaching about culture and my children are going to Wazungu schools? So Beryl should go to Nyamira. I have never seen that type of war. My sister, Beryl, told him, why should I be the one to learn Luo culture? Was Luo culture created for me? I refuse. You know, he brought her here briefly, but she fought him until he removed her after only a short while. Yeah, so, and then another time, maybe I should stop there. I just want to say that Beryl was a professional, serious one. I went to visit her in Zimbabwe one time when she was CEO of Chichungwiza. And at that time, she was under 30 years old. But when we reached there, everybody rushed to the car, opened the car door for her. They took their briefcase, they were saluting her, calling her boss. And, you know, they are walking very fast to the office like a real boss. And here was our older sister wearing some very simple jeans. I could not tell them that I am the older sister, you know, but I will tell you another day how I handled that situation, but not now. I know there have been a lot of speculation about. No, let me also say what Adiamo said, that Beryl loved her family. She loved her family. We could have our own difference, she and me. But if you attack me, she would immediately change and go for your neck. So there's one time that a con man came and cheated me that he was, I don't know, some famous musician and was conning me out of money. And then we tricked him. By the time I found out, we tricked him. And he went to an office, and luckily for him, he found Beryl there. So Beryl told him, you landed in my hands. Yeah, you have been trying to call my sister. I'm a lawyer. I'm going to arrest you, take you to prison. And you know, Kenya, there are no prisons. You have a very good body. You are going to be made a woman in prison. The guy started crying. By the time I reached there, his eyes were red. He was crying, and Beryl, I wanted to sympathize with the guy. Beryl said, no, if you are interfering, we will lock you up in another room. Me and Amondi, my friend Amondi, who is even inside here, are going to deal with, we'll lock you somewhere. I will come back, and me and Amondi, we will deal with this man. The man was crying tears. So that was Beryl for you. So finally, there's something I forgot to say during Raila's funeral. So let me say it, please. Let me say there's something I wanted to say. Oh, another politician is coming, and they will drown me out. Let me finish by saying that I always believe
Kindly proceed, Daktari.
So I wanted to say during Raila's funeral that, first of all, when Corona struck, please, people, you are spoiling my sister's funeral. Some of us are not even politicians. And politicians, I really want to plead with you. If you know that your people are going to disrupt functions, why don't you come early? I think people are not being fair. So anyway, what I wanted to say during Raila's funeral, that after Corona, there have been so many deaths, so many sudden deaths, people just falling dead, and especially because of blood clot. And I just wanted to request the researchers, Kemri, and all medical researchers to please do research and find out if there's any relationship between Corona or the long-term effects of Corona, because I still believe that Corona has something to do with the sudden surge of people dropping dead. Finally, there's been an outpouring of love and sympathy towards our family from all over the world for what we have experienced the last 2 months. My mother had 9 children. 2 months ago, we were left 5. Now we are only 3. There were 6 boys and 3 girls. So somehow the boys used to die, but the girls have been strong. So Beryl's the first sister now to die. And I want to thank you all, because I had always prayed that please, when I looked at them, because I love all of them, and I love them equally, even in their differences. And I was always hoping that if one of us is to die before the other, it should be me. But that didn't happen. That was my wish as a human being, but God planned differently, and we are all going to go. Me, I cannot break down. I cannot break down because I have to be strong for Beryl's family. I'm now, all of us now, Auma, Chizi, Taurai, and your children, We, Dr. Buru, myself, Adhiambo and all the others, we are there for you. You are not orphans. Even if you need just a shoulder to lean, to cry on, we are there for you. We are there to support you. So I know there's been a lot of support prayers for us, and you feel it. But then there are also the negatives. Beryl and Raila had something in common. They would get angry very quickly, but forget equally quickly. So if you said anything negative in social media or anything, don't feel guilty. They have long forgiven you, and therefore even us as a family, we have forgiven you. We have no grudge. Rest in peace be. That is right.